You are welcome back. This is still the Business Lens on Rapid Television, Abuja. My name is Divine Alex. We gave you the headlines, right? And we gave you a couple of headlines from the CBN urging state government to reduce borrowing, to the whole conversation around the Lagos State's electricity thing. And today, that is where we are going to be drawing our conversation on. Last week, we talked a little bit with an analyst who, had a few things to say about the electricity and the power ministry. But today, we are continuing the conversation on Nigeria's electricity situation, where improved billing figures are happening alongside declining power supply, leaving many Nigerians still paying more for less service and forcing citizens to depend heavily on generators. Now, to help us make sense of what this really means, especially from the government's communication and policy perspective, I am joined by the special advisor on strategic communications and media relations to the Minister of Power, Mr. Tunji Bolaji. Good morning, Mr. Tunji. Yes, good morning. I can hear you now.
Good morning.
Okay. So
Okay.
it is great to have you on the show this morning. Now,
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we dive straight into where the disconnect is coming from and how Nigerians are supposed to perceive what is going to happen in the power sector ahead, I want us to look at the Lagos State government that now approved 14 new electricity licenses and permits that is covering off-grid power generation, mini-grids, metering, and independent distribution in a major move, according to them, that is aimed at expanding private sector participation and improving electricity access in the state. Now, I want to get your comment on that.
Yeah, it's a welcome development, but you will note that this is in line with what was contained in the National Electricity Policy Act of 2023 that was signed by the President immediately he assumed office,
okay,
which enabled all the various stakeholders in the electricity industry, states, even individuals, organizations, to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. So if Lagos State is taking this bold step, it's a welcome development, and it's something that should be encouraged.
Something that should be encouraged.
You also have to note, you also have to note that it's not only Lagos State government that has embarked on their own electricity market. There are other states, about 15 states so far, or thereabout, that have already started this process of starting their own electricity market. So what we just tell the other states is to also make haste to ensure that they started or they go into this kind of thing too, like the others are doing.
Okay.
And that's how we can sustain the momentum of having electricity for all, as the president had promised.
Okay, now a lot of Nigerians are asking, where is the disconnect? Because we've seen a lot of reforms over the past years, but somehow it's looking like Nigerians are paying for darkness. Now, why does it feel like every reform announcement raises expectations, but somehow it doesn't, give us deliveries on ground?
You see, I want to just say something, and a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And we also have to note that Rome was not actually built in a day. When this administration came in, what the administration met on ground was not something that is so encouraging in terms of neglect. And this neglect has been there over the years. You recall that there was a debate about the debt that was owed the gencos and the gas suppliers. It was a major issue which I believe you are aware of, which this government has started paying. And we also recall that over the years, some of the facilities, equipment, as well as the grid lines had been neglected. Nothing was actually, not much was done. Don't let me say nothing was done. Not much was done to revamp some of these facilities. And that has affected the way electricity is conveyed to the people, to Nigerians. But with this administration, efforts is now being made to ensure that the promise that Nigerians will enjoy electricity will be fulfilled. And how are they doing this? The first thing is what I said earlier, which is the signing of the Electricity Act of 2023, which has enabled everybody to be a participant. The states cannot give us any excuse today that people are not getting electricity. It can even be a campaign promise for them that, look, I will give you electricity. Let them start that process. The states have been empowered to start the process. Even individuals, and individuals are actually doing it. The other day, it was Dangote that was saying it was going to give us about 20,000 megawatts of electricity. You understand? So, and that's one. Then secondly, one of the things this administration did was to sign an accelerated contract with Siemens. That was President Tinubu did. Contract with Siemens to upgrade our grid lines, and that work had commenced. They had already started work with the pilot phase, which had finished, and they are now on phase 1 of that. So, and this idea is to upgrade the grid, the national grid, and also upgrade some of the substations and build new ones. So these are efforts being made to ensure that we have stable electricity in the country.
Okay. Now, speaking about the grid, right? We've had the grid collapse several times, and we keep hearing conversations around the fact that the ministry is doing a lot to ensure that we continue to have stable electricity, to reduce the grid collapse, but somehow it's looking like it is not reflective. Now, from an average Nigerian standpoint, how would you explain some of these reforms? So how would you explain the reasons why they have to pay more for darkness, because that is what it is giving right now?
It's unfortunate that we keep on saying people are paying for darkness. People are not paying for darkness.
Okay.
We won't expect people to pay for darkness because nobody wants to ensure that people are always getting darkness all the time. Efforts are continually being made to ensure that when due. I can tell you that, like I said earlier, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Efforts are being made now to ensure that the negate of the past is now tackled. If we have not got to where we are going yet, I will tell you that we have not got to where we are going yet on electricity. It's still a work in progress, and this is due to what I've said earlier. The neglect. But this present administration is trying to tackle that neglect.
Okay, now let's look at. Okay, so now let's look at the fact that the ministry now has new leadership. Now, with new leadership coming, it's not like it's 100% approved right now, but I think we are in the phase of getting someone. Now, with leadership changes and the new policy direction in the sector, what is expected to change differently this time around?
Thank you very much. You see, one of the things that the previous administration, the previous minister did was to, based on it's actually in the continuation of the signing of the 2023 Act, is to ensure that we have what is called the National Integrated Electricity Policy, which tells you about what is expected in the industry. And then, apart from that document that was signed, that was presented to the public and presented to the president, there's also this SIP document. That is, you see, these are documents that anybody that wants to be a participant in the sector has to follow. There's a blueprint that you must follow, and that is why that administration, the former minister, the immediate past minister, has to be commended. He ensured that documentation is made, is done. Nigeria has not had this in the last how many decades now. So we have that document now, and I believe that the new incoming minister will also study what is there, and then take a cue from what is there. And apart from what he wants to do on his own, take a cue from what has been established. Because I'm not seeing a situation whereby the new person will come in and possibly do away with everything that has been done. I'm not sure he will want to do that. He will look at all the good things that have been done, and he will want to build up on that.
Okay. Now, so where does Nigerians come in?
Essential. They are very important.
Okay, so how do we now capture the Nigerians part? Where does Nigerians come in with all these reforms? With looking ahead of the whole situation with the new leadership that is coming, where does Nigerians fall in?
Yeah, you see, what I would just say is Nigerians should just be a little bit patient. The government is doing everything possible to ensure we have stable electricity. That is what is presently happening. And like I told you, the Siemens project is ongoing, whereby they are strengthening, presently they are strengthening the national grid and then upgrading some of the substations and building new substations. All these things, they are not something that will come overnight, because the power sector thing is not something that it's not like when you want to construct a road and just bring a grader and start grading the road. People will know that you are doing something. We have in the electricity industry, when you want to start something, when you start a project, you have it's 100% completion. There's nothing like 99%, because if you build a substation, you don't have the lines, the lines to energize the substation. You haven't done anything. People will just see the building, you see the equipment and everything on ground. Or if you are not energized, people will still believe that you are not doing anything. That is the power sector. Everything has to be 100%. If it's not 100%, then it's not done. So what I would just say is people should just be patient with what the government has done today, or what is presently being done. Nigerians will still enjoy stable electricity.
Okay.
In fact, there's no government. I'm not sure there's any government that has ever done as much as what this present administration is doing in terms of power. And that's what led to what the little gains we have had. Today we have over 6,000 available megawatts. 6,000 megawatts. We've never had that. That's historical, and that's within 2-3 years of this administration. That's historical. The highest we ever had when the administration came in was about 4,000 megawatts. Just 4,000 megawatts, and we built on it. And the only time that there was an exception was when Raji Fashola was minister, and that was a one-off. It was not sustainable. But today we have done. We are willing about 5,000 megawatts out there, and we have capacity to give about 6,000 megawatts today. Today it's not much. It's not what we expect, because we need to do more. Out of our installed capacity of the 14,000 megawatts. So the fact is that a lot has been done by this administration within the few years that they got there.
Okay, now if we tell Nigerians to be patient, right? Is there something that they should look out for? At least, let's say, from now to the next 6 months, or from now to the next 3 months, or from now to the next 12 months. What should Nigerians expect from the Ministry of Power?
You see, the issue is a gradual improvement.
Okay.
But there will be improvement. I can tell you that. It's a gradual thing, but there will be incremental improvement. The former minister said it too. He promised, and he was doing that. It's like I said, they have to take it one by one. Because the sector is so interrelated, is so interconnected. You talk about the gas suppliers. You talk about you talk about the transmission company and the distribution company. All of them are related to each other. If the gas suppliers are not supplying gas to the generating companies, that means they won't be able to produce. And if they produce and the transmission companies are not there to transmit whatever is produced to the distribution center, there will be a problem. So they are all interrelated. And these are problems that are there. At each of these places, there are issues that have to be confronted, there are challenges that have to be resolved. And these are the challenges that have been gradually resolved by the administration. Each of them at each of the stages. So that's why I said Nigerians should just be patient. Everything is being done by this administration. It's not about just shouting, and a lot is being done. But like I said, you will not see the result of these things overnight. It is something that will come.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that one.
Industry doesn't.
Okay, thank you so much for that one. Even though I was expecting that you would give Nigerians, some things that they could hold on to, things that they could look out for to help them be able to monitor some of the things that okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
He has promised that he will do his best. Yeah.
In the first 100 days, I saw that why he was undergoing screening. Okay. Thank you so much, Tunji Bolaji, for being on the show this morning. It was great to have this conversation with you this morning. We hope to have more of you on the coming episode so that we could also look at what has been achieved in the current administration and where we are. That is when we are not looking back at all the promises of it is not a rocket science, all the promises of things are being done, all the promises that we should be patient. Maybe if, let's say, from now to the next month or in the next 2 months or in the next 3 months, we could look back at what has been done and how it has made life easy for Nigerians. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning. Now, away from that one, let's head straight to the capital market. Nigeria's capital market is expected to remain active this week as analysts project over 10 trillion naira in system liquidity inflows from maturing treasury bills and open market operations in May 2026. Financial analysts say part of this liquidity could flow into equities and other capital market instruments as investors continue searching for stronger returns amid inflationary pressure. Although market participants are also watching how institutional investors reposition funds between fixed income and equities this week, especially as corporate earnings after recent profit taking slowed the market's strong rally. Analysts say investors are likely to focus more on fundamentally strong companies, dividend prospects also, and fresh corporate disclosures this week rather than speculative buying. Analysts expect volatility to persist this week as investors react to macroeconomic developments, interest rate expectations, and portfolio rebalancing. And on the equities market, we have updates on Nigeria's equities market that is entering the new trading week with signs of moderation after an extended bullish run that pushed year-to-date returns above 57%. Analysts say investors are expected to continue profit-taking in some highly priced banking and large-cap stocks after weeks of aggressive gains. The market data for the week that ended May 8 showed the NGX All Share Index still gained 1.03% week on week to close at 244,775.83 points, while market capitalization rose to about 157.09 trillion naira despite the volatility in selected counters. Now, we also had analysts come in to say that this suggests that the market remains bullish overall, but investors should expect more cautious and selective trading this week. Now, one of the biggest factors likely to influence the equities market this week is the surge in financial system liquidity expected in May 2026, according to the Financial Markets Dealers Association. Nigeria's financial system could see over 10.53 trillion naira in liquidity inflows this month from maturing open market operations, the OMO, and treasury bills. Investors are also expected to closely monitor more Q1 2026 corporate earnings releases. They should also look at the dividend announcements and sector rotation this week as the market gradually shifts from broad rally buying into more selective positioning. We also have the market watchers that are coming out to say that banking, industrial, insurance, and dividend paying stocks could remain attractive if liquidity conditions stay strong, although the profit-taking pressures may persist in overbought counters after 6 consecutive weeks of gains on the Nigerian exchange. Now, lastly, despite the recent pullbacks, the NGX weekly data showed investors traded about 7.075 billion shares worth of 324.35 billion naira worth in 474,436 deals during the week ended May 8. Significantly, this is higher than the previous week. Now, the financial services stocks remained most attractive and actively traded segment, contributing over 60% of total equity turnover volume. Now, we also had the analysts coming to say that the strong liquidity inflows expected from OMO and treasury bills maturities in May could continue supporting equities demand, especially if investors seek higher real returns amid the inflation concerns. And that is all we have for you on today's Business Lens. Do follow us on all social media platforms at Rapid TV. I am Divine Alex. Don't forget to stay with Rapid TV. Bye for now.